Hey, Dan, thank you so much for making yourself available. Really appreciate it. I know you are really, really busy.
To say the least. But I am always busy, but that's the way I like it. And nowadays, it's busyness in the proper direction. I love the route we're taking. So I'm glad that we actually got to catch up, because we try to do this more often. And I just have so much to talk about all the time. So I got to sort of pare it down just to make it sort of manageable for the viewers as well.
So since we last spoke, I've interviewed Nikhil in Hindi. That's not up on my channel. It's a short video just explaining the project. A longer video with him in English, and also Dean, the medical director. So, and I know Morpheus.Network keeps going. And one of the things I say about Morpheus.Network to other people in the space, here's a project post-ICO, building a real-world use case, using the blockchain only because it's a better technology and not for the sake of blockchain. And lots and lots of partnerships with real-world legacy businesses, improving their functionality and how they do work. Great. And also your really great communication strategy.
Thank you. Well, listen, you mentioned Dean, the head of medical solutions for Morpheus.Network. You mentioned Nikhil, who's been just amazing. He's been with me actually from the start of the project. So really been great working with Nikhil. But the team has so many all-stars, honestly. So, people see, let's say, us talk, and they've seen Dean and Nikhil and all that. But really, it's, the Carls, Carl and Carl, C. Carl, K. Carl, Brian, Noam, everyone's just like really pushing it behind the scenes. We have some amazing projects that we're working on right now, and stuff that, we get the question all the time, like, your trajectories and your original roadmap and so on and so forth. Never in my wildest dreams that I think that, from the start of the project, that at this stage, we'd be working on the type of projects we're working on right now. I know we've obviously announced some amazing things that we've done with FCL and a bunch of different partnerships and tech partnerships, and really great stuff. And listen, stuff like this with you. Why do we do this? Ask yourself, do I think that some, massive corporation is going to see our video and say, hey, I got to work with this Morpheus.Network? I don't think that at all. If that happens, great. Why not? But really, this is, as much as I love you, obviously talking to you and all that, it's for the community. It's for our community itself. I know they're the viewers of these videos. I'm speaking to them directly. Let them know that I'm, obviously open to talk about everything we can possibly talk about. I will emphasize the word possibly, because there's some things that we can't possibly talk about. And so we don't, so I'm open to speak about it with the community at all levels, just because I am so excited about these projects. And I know that I feel these questions all day long, and I love them, honestly. I love the attention that it gets, from the community. And every time we do, another move, I love people to sort of question, why is Morpheus doing this move? Why are they announcing this at this time? And know that we're doing it for the sake of sustainable business. And we're very excited about our future right now and the project we have ongoing.
Very good, very good. With that, just remember, I've had Grant as well, and No, and I'm reaching out to Carl to try and work something out with him and one of the advisors. And one of the things that I noticed, and credit to the team, each and every single one of them, but also you, because you seem to have a particular talent for surrounding yourself with great people.
I feel blessed. I feel lucky, honestly, and a lot of my work, even though it's day-to-day grinding, it's finding the right people to communicate with the right companies in order to get Morpheus.Network and to be viewed by the proper audience and also explained by the right people. So honestly, to run into a group of people like Carl and C. Carl as well, and Brian, and the talent these guys bring is amazing. And I know starting this with Noam, and we were motivated from the start, but our motivation just increased as we're seeing the productivity of the team, and also obviously the validation that we get from the clients and the partners and so on and so forth. So it's been a great ride.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. And do you want to
hold on one second? I just wanted to say one more comment on that as well.
Yes.
It's been a great ride, and that's a completely wrong way to say it. Just because been a great ride means that we had a ride. We haven't had the ride yet. We're just hopping in the driver's seat. We're starting that ignition right now. This is just the beginning. And that one, it comes with FCL, the project with FCL right now. We've implemented a system. They're running a system. So let's say that the engine's running. We started moving with them. We have so much more to work on with FCL, to grow out with them, to grow out with their suppliers, to grow out with the producers beyond that as well. We're working on some projects that requires the onboarding of thousands and thousands of various producers, right? So these aren't the types of projects where, transactions will start firing right away as you're onboarding, but in time, these are massive, massive projects that, we're excited to tackle. We know there's a huge hill to climb still. Once again, the ride is not done. This is just the beginning, guys. So I see the road ahead. My GPS gives me that whole map ahead of me, and I'm excited for the entire ride. And the beginning of it's just so awesome right now. And I think everyone sees that and sees what we built. And I think they're just excited as I am for the future.
Absolutely. And it is, you're laying a really rock solid foundation, still building for what's to come. And just on that, the co-op.
Yes.
In Canada.
Federated co-op.
Federated Co-op, right? So I did a video about your work with them. When did you start talking to them? When did you first have contact with them? How long ago?
It's amazing because before they had to have their system completed by April. This was a government requirement, right? So they had a deadline, and they came to us only 45 days before the deadline date. So in 45 days, we completely customized the interface, completely implemented, and started onboarding their suppliers to keep them compliant. So that was a huge success. And that's why right now when it comes to Federated Co-op and all these other companies as well, we know, call a spade a spade. We are a startup, right? Comparing us to a company like an IBM or an Oracle, people can say who are your competitors out there, and IBM does some amazing stuff. But I know our advantages, and I know IBM's advantages as well. And listen, IBM has a huge machine. They have so many employees. We do not have as close as many employees or developers as IBM, obviously. But if you go to IBM and ask them to implement a system within 45 days and customize it and have everything done, that's quite a task for them. They have a huge machine to get moving in that direction. Where our advantage as a startup, as a smaller team, we're agile, we're able to get everyone moving in the right direction as we need to. And this was case in point for FCL, as well as the customizations we've done for VTELCAN and all our other clients and partners as well, creating these custom APIs in order to bring in this data and make it actionable for our clients as well. So it's been fantastic. And I love working with a small team. I know we're constantly growing. And I feel like even right now, I've given up, in a sense, control. I don't micromanage projects. I love that our team is all over these things. They take ownership of it, right? And that's how it's going to grow from there. But I love knowing what's going on, obviously. This is what, in a sense, is my lifeblood. I wake up every morning. It's like, okay, what's everyone doing? Let's get the updates. How are we progressing? Okay, we're not progressing here. Let's push ahead in this direction. And my day is just enjoyable, kind of making sure everyone's pushing in the right direction. So.
Fabulous. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. Now, what has been happening? What do you want to let people know about? What's coming up?
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. That's a great question. We just put in a proposal for a complete agricultural traceability system for a government, actually. We've started working with another government system as well, running their complete phytosanitary, their chemical documentation system, the certification. Really amazing stuff. And, these are the types of projects, as I mentioned, where it's not about, let's have a meeting, let's finish it, let's implement it. This will take years to implement all these systems and integrate all these different data points together and create these amazing actionable events that are going to revolutionize not only the countries that we're working with right now, but other countries as well. Seeing how these systems are being put into play, it's really going to revolutionize the entire world. So I'm super excited about working with government bodies themselves. One thing I wanted to say, which right now I'll say that it's the press release, the PR itself is in the oven. So everything's done. The client is signed. We have a brand new client that ships over 100 containers every single month. This is to 20 countries all around the world. So it's a perfect client for us with all the complexity they have with international shipping. Really an amazing client. And as I said, I'd love to just announce and discuss all the different companies we're working with through this multiplier, through this client that already ships 100 containers, per month, but 100 plus containers, I should say. But the PR has to be released properly. We want everyone to agree on that as well. So just to let the community know and everyone else who's watching, constantly growing, constantly dealing with various clients and contracts and different implementations. So very excited to announce that as well, which will be very, very soon, since I know it's in the oven. And yeah, we've been pushing ahead with the various integrations as well. Just had a couple.
Oh, okay, hold on a second, right? So yes. You're about to go live, about to announce another partnership with another company in the supply chain business, and you can't tell us now, right? So yet another announcement.
You know what? I wouldn't call it a partnership. I wouldn't call it a partnership. Even the partnerships are fantastic. I love partners out there. I'd call this a client.
Okay.
This is a contractual client that's paying us for our services, as opposed to just hooking up with an amazing other technology, which we can provide for other clients. That's great as well. But this itself is a client.
That's an important distinction. Thank you for correcting me on that, right? So you're about to announce another client that's going to be using the Morpheus.Network middleware platform. But there was something you said before that I wanted to pick up, which is you said it's going to take a long time to work this out with the government agencies. Now, is that because you're dealing with something so incredibly complex and convoluted and possibly patched on up with lots of patches?
That's a part of it. I'd say that there's a lot of complexity to it, and development itself will take some time, obviously, to customize it perfectly. But it's more so you think about, it's not just a system that has to be in play. We have to have everyone who's connected to this system in play as well. So it's more about the training, the onboarding, and all that stuff, which actually takes up a lot longer, a lot more time than the actual development itself. As you know, as you've seen as well, the platform itself, very flexible, very customizable. We can get this in play very, very quickly, especially you see in 45 days might be quite a stretch for a project of this extent. But it's more so the training and the implementing. We've actually, as a part of our proposals with our partners, put in to train 1,000 people in these countries at a time, right? So if you think about training 1,000 people at one time, that's going to take some time, obviously, to make sure that 1,000 people are using the platform properly as well. But from then, those 1,000 trained people can train their own people as well. So it's quite a huge project. But at the same time, this is what we're here for, right? This is what we want to do, and growing as a company, taking on the proper partners in order to help us in those locations, geographic locations themselves. That's just part of the process, and we're enjoying it as well. So
great. All right, thank you. And then you were going to go into something else. What else is coming up?
I don't even remember. We do have a lot of stuff going on. So I'll say that are continually integrating with various systems. This week, actually, just right now, I was for the sake of transparency, Rich did ask me to hop on the call a little bit early as to meet a family member, so I'm trying to speak a little bit quickly, which I do anyways usually. But I was just on a call with another major food supplier in Canada. They've actually seen the system that we put in for FCL as well. So very excited about that. It wasn't an initial call, so I'm not announcing anything or anything like that, but they showed great interest for that, and I'm very excited about that. And I'll let everyone know that we're constantly meeting with these amazing companies. We have some amazing ambassadors out there. I'm going to throw a shout out specifically to Conrad Kubik, who's been unbelievable in reaching out to these amazing companies, bringing us meetings and getting us down that road of onboarding clients and working with new Fortune 500, Fortune 10s, I'd say as well. So Conrad's been amazing, and we're going to keep on plugging away, guys, and everything's going really well.
Okay, very good. I think I might need to speak to Conrad and find out from him, get him on board, interview the entire team slowly.
Can you do it in Polish? Because I know you've done
Dzień dobry.
That's
it. Dzień dobry. That's I think good morning in Polish. That's about it.
Conrad will have to confirm that.
All right. So what else is going on that you want to let people know about, or what might be useful for them to know?
Well, I'd love them to sort of look into, the current announcements that we have on the go, right? As well as the past announcements and how we're growing as a company. I think that in this space, we've talked to some amazing companies within the blockchain space and crypto itself. People saw recently, we did that Maker Day, POC, using Maker Day stablecoin as a part of our automated workflows. There's a whole bunch of companies in the cryptocurrency sphere right now that are just about to explode when it comes to adoption on the mainstream level. I know this for, personally, because I'm dealing with this on a day-to-day level, right? I'm meeting with these companies. I see the new technologies that they're going after in a sense. And it's almost shifted in a sense where at one point it was a lot of it was based on, okay, we went through, blockchain was this hit term. They want to hear about blockchain, but they're a little bit standoffish on it, right? So we kind of change our strategy saying, okay, listen, they're just standoffish on blockchain itself. This is the technology we want them to use because it has all these benefits. We talk about problems, we talk about solutions, and blockchain in a lot of these situations is used as a solution. Now it's sort of flip-flop, where people are coming back around and people are starting off conversations saying, okay, wait a minute. How are you guys implementing blockchain? And we're almost thrown off by that. We're like, wow, let's talk about this. And then we explain to them all the benefits of blockchain and so on and so forth. So the fact that major enterprises, real business, we're seeing this. We just did a webinar with John Walper from Baseline Protocol and all his work that they've done with Ernst & Young and Consensus. The adoption is just around the corner. When it comes to blockchain, enterprises themselves are opening their eyes that this isn't just some sort of fad from the beginning of 2018. This isn't something that's going to just happen automatically. They're actively looking at this technology as well. So I know I've talked to a lot of different companies in the space, and they're very excited about the enterprises that are, in a sense, waking up to the fact that, hey, let's not miss this technological revolution. And I don't know if this has something directly to do with the pandemic of the world, people seeing whether it's their supply chain or any part of their business that's disconnected, sort of magnified based on the pandemic. I don't know if this has to do with current state of affairs in the world and try to sort of shave down wherever they can on those sort of like skinny margins that they have as it is. So whatever it is right now, it's an exciting time for Morpheus and for all the projects in the space right now. So I'm very excited about it.
Okay, well, there's three things I can think about the current climate and how they might impact Morpheus.Network, right? Two of them I think could be positive and one negative. So one positive in terms of reducing costs and friction, making the whole process smoother and more efficient financially and in terms of time. Then the other is where they have to have more auditing and quality control because of, especially for medicines and things like that, and to make sure that stuff gets to where it needs to get to and that it's not being contaminated. But where it might not work out so well for Morpheus.Network is where the whole global economy takes a downturn. Car factories closing down because they can't get the parts because of the disruption to the supply chain. So how is Morpheus.Network set up to deal with that?
Listen, business is still going to go on. People still need cars. People still need to shop. Food suppliers still need to work, right? So as much as you say there could be a global downturn, if a company, let's say, shuts down altogether, God forbid, this is not going to happen. This is obviously not going to happen. For example, company XYZ, goes down. It's our client. Obviously we can no longer work with company XYZ. But guess what? Company ABC will pop up and fill into the shoes of where XYZ is. And that's, you can look at almost like a human nature, right? So as much as right now we're beaten down, we have this pandemic going on. There's some protests going on as well. When I say protests, well, many protests going on around the world. Lots of stuff is happening, but people are resilient. We will come back. We will come back stronger than ever. We will work out our differences. And this is, we've had major differences in the past. We've had world wars. We've had plagues. We've had this stuff happen, and people have come back from it and come back stronger. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing, when it comes to new technology, this is a new avenue that people have to improve from the past. So they see if they can implement a new system, to shave down, where their, carbon emissions are basically polluting the world, helping their cause basically as a company, be able to show that they're sustainable in the long term. Then that's only a benefit for us. And I think that the economic downturn right now, based on the pandemic, just means that we're going to have an economic upturn afterwards as well. So we haven't seen any issues when it comes to clients that we're working with specifically. They haven't said to us, "Hey, listen, it's a pandemic, so we don't care about our margins anymore." It's the exact opposite. They care even more, right? So when we're looking to optimize and save money and save on operating expenses, save on time, and like you said, coordinate between companies, that's still just as relevant as it was now, as it was before the pandemic, if not even more so.
Right. So I suppose the other advantage that you offer, it'd be different if you were this giant corporation manufacturing company that got hit by supply chain disruption because you had factories all over the world. But as a very small startup, you've still got plenty of room to grow.
Exactly. And one thing we've been, right from the start of the project, myself and Noam have been very smart with our overhead as well. So even though we haven't had any issues with our clients, if God forbid there was a situation where we would run into an issue where we're not receiving our revenues that we need, we're still set up very well as a company where we don't have a huge overhead. That's why a company like IBM, they're amazing, but their overhead is obviously substantially larger than us, crazily substantially larger than us. So we're set up very nicely right now. And to be honest, I feel almost guilty. I've said this before, that during a pandemic, during all the, the craziness going on in the world right now, that, I'm happy as can be. My family's healthy. Everything's fantastic. Business is great. So what else can I ask for? So I feel guilty saying it, but this time has been I'll look back at 2020 as a strange year, but I can't think of it as a bad year, so it's yeah.
Dan, that's fabulous. And don't feel guilty, because what your project offers and what you offer individually as a team and as a project is like this shining light inside the whole cryptocurrency space. One of those few projects, where you've not run off and disappeared, or it's not a sham, it's got a working product, you're building and building and building it and growing from strength to strength. And that's going to contribute to lots and lots of people, the token holders, as well as all the customers that you're onboarding and your customers' customers.
Yeah. Most definitely. I see the benefit of what we're providing. The guilt, I guess, comes in when I see, let's say, healthcare professionals and people who are the real heroes, and they're not able to work properly. Like I have some close friends who their businesses are just basically shut down because they can't take in patients, and that's where the guilt comes in that I'm still able to work. And at the same time, I love what I do, right? So this is day to day. I'm just having fun, and if it helps companies, which this is what we're aiming to do, obviously, this is what we do. That's all the benefit, right? So yes, I see your point, obviously, and that as much as I feel guilty, also I do understand that I'm providing a service that is a benefit to many.
That's making a difference. Thank you. Any last words, Dan? Anything else you want to say before we finish up?
You know what? Once again, I say this all the time that I do enjoy the communication I have with the community. I'm always open to any questions people have. Answer all the questions that I possibly can. If there's any questions that I can't answer, for example, if there's asking uncertainty or whatever it is, then that's what it is. Asking the same questions over and over and over again, getting the same answers from us. I don't know if that's what people want to hear. But once again, feel free to reach out to me directly. People can email me directly. I answer every single email. Dan at Morpheus.Network. I'm on Telegram as well, always. I'm in our Morpheus.Network channel. So yeah, everyone reach out, ask about the project, ask what we're up to, because I love talking about it. So.
Dan, thank you so much. It's always a joy talking to you, and I always get so excited and worked up myself because your passion and enthusiasm is infectious. Thank you. And for anybody who's watching, please subscribe, like, comment. I'm going to continue covering Morpheus.Network. Watch my other Morpheus.Network videos, and between now and when I see you next, please keep filling your pockets with crypto profits. This is Crypto Rich and Crypto Dan. All the best. Bye-bye.